In the family of pliers, the long nose, it's known for its ability to be able to pull, twist, turn, and even cut wire. So Gearwrench says it can do it better with the Pitbull Plier. And thanks to the Home Depot Seeds program, we're going to find out. Once outside the packaging, we see the 6-inch tool has a comfort molded handle, which is different from the dipped handles on some other tools. It also has the ability to tether, which is a standard feature with most Gearwrench tools. If we go forward of the grip, you can see that there's an opening here, which means that when you go to use this tool, not only does the comfort grip give you a place to rest your thumb and forefinger, but even if your finger comes down into that opening, it's not going to get pinched. Not the same like with this tool, which on more than one occasion has bitten me. So that's a very nice feature. Going forward to that, we see that the plier tip itself is cross-hatched as opposed to going straight across as it would on most of the other ones. This supposedly gives you a better grip. It also has a cable holding notch. So it gives you the ability to pull on cable with the notch without cutting it. Nice little feature. It does crush the insulation, but does minimal damage to wire. So it's just a great way to grab something without really marking it up with the teeth. Beyond the cable notch, we have a fastener hold. So if you come across a fastener that you need to undo and you're too lazy to get the right tool, this will suffice. Beyond that, we have the cutting blade, and it's called out as having two features. You have the straight cutting blade, and then you have these two, what they call torque zone. Really, it's nothing more than the fact that the pivot is right up against that. So the maximum amount of torque is applied here. It's rated for up to 11 gauge. This happens to be 12 gauge. So it shouldn't have a problem cutting right through that at the bottom, which is where the fulcrum is. And then if I go up to the top, let's see. It's still pretty easy. It's more like butter at the bottom, but definitely through its whole range, it has no problem going through this 12 gauge wire. In looking over the Gearwrench Pitbull Plier, I noticed one peculiar thing about the way it cuts. So we open it up, I put back my 12 gauge wire, and I'm going to cut, and look what it does. It just slides, right? Now, it does finally stop here at the end, and it has no problem cutting, but notice this. So, no slide. How about this one? No slide. This one will bite your finger back here. How about this one? No slide. If I come back to the gear grip, it just slides. And it's not until it catches at the back end here that it'll actually stop and then do the cut. It's not the kind of thing that would eliminate this tool out of the contention. It's just something to note, mainly because they make such a big deal of where the two little arrows are in saying that that is the torque zone, which it is, but because the blade is not serrated, the wire will travel along until it comes to a stop. Recall how I said on most long nose pliers, the grooves go across, and on the Gearwrench, they're actually crosshatch. And the question is, does that make any difference? Well, very unscientific test, but I'm going to take this round cylinder, a battery, put it up, lightly press on it, and it disengages quite easily. I come to our gear wrench, and it takes a lot. It's a lot more resistant to coming out, even with a very light pressure on it. So, indeed, the cross-hatching does seem to make a difference as far as the grip. You get a much stronger grip with the gear wrench than you do with these other types of pliers. Summing up my likes and dislikes, I like the fact that it has a comfort grip, that it is capable of being tethered. I think that's nice that Gearwrench includes that with most of their tools. Note that this is not electrically insulated. It's just a comfort grip. I do like the fact that there is a no pinch zone here. And while they don't mention it in their brochure, it's much appreciated by someone who's been caught more than once. Cutting blade, nice and sharp. Not a big fan of the sliding, but it still cuts, and you do have a lot of torque, of course, near the pivot, as you would on any other tool. But it still cuts really well, even at the extreme end. The ability to use this to grab onto a fastener is a nice option. Of course, it's always best to go with the appropriate tool. The wire notch I find unique. Haven't seen that on another tool, and it's just nice that they included that, and it's a no big deal if you don't use it, but it's there and available. There's really no place to grab to pull like fish tape. Some of the other units give you a grip so that you can grab your fish tape and pull that out. But if you're using fish tape, you probably have a lineman's pliers, which is the more appropriate tool for that. One weird thing is the limited span. It opens up that far, whereas other tools, well, this one actually only opens that far too. That one only opens that far, whereas this one opens up really wide. And maybe that's what I'm used to, because though this shouldn't affect your work, because again, this is a tool for grabbing, pulling, twisting, tugging at things, doing slight cutting, but not much. And again, you can use that as a fastener. Because of the way it's rounded here, that's the full extent they can open up. But to get there, there's like this hump that you have to go over. But I think in real world use, you're probably not going to exceed that. So maybe it's not the limit that I'm making it out to be. It's a 6-inch long tool, so it fits right in your pouch, easy to carry around. And I do appreciate this grip over the dip grips, because this one's just thicker and feels more comfortable. Plus, I like the stops at the end. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.